Ark's next major update was just revealed behind closed doors here at GDC, and the timeline runs all the way through December of 2026. Snail Games hosted a private showcase during the Game Developers Conference this week where they revealed multiple upcoming projects across their portfolio, but the biggest focus of the event was actually the future of the Ark franchise, and while the announcement included a few different games and reveals, it also quietly confirmed a rough timeline for several major updates coming to Ark Survival Ascended in 2026. So first up, Survival of the Fittest. That's right, baby. It is officially making a comeback here, and I think set to actually debut this month, which we'll talk more about that in a second. But nevertheless, this was actually mentioned via GDC, and it has actually been handed over to Studio Sirens, the same people who actually developed Ark Aquatica, yeah, that random DLC for Ark Survival Evolved last year, has now been taken over and now are going to be running and producing or the revamp or revived version of Survival of the Fittest. Now, again, if you don't know what that is, it is a Battle Royale mode, basically, that was in Ark Survival Evolved and then eventually came ported over to Ark Survival Ascended. It was shortly canned because it just didn't receive the reception from the player base that people thought it would. It was baked into the game, and I honestly think that it does have a chance if, only if, they stick to what they state in this GDC article on Snail Games' website, where they do make the claim it is going to be a standalone title. So not going to be baked into Ark Survival Ascended, but actually by itself, and I do only think that it's probably going to make a last longer than its predecessor if it is free. So we're going to see how all of that pans out. We don't have any additional information on if it will be a standalone game for sure or not, and or what that price will be, but only time will tell. And like I said, it is apparently set to come out in March, which we are sitting at the 11th right now, almost middle of the month here for March, and we've heard nothing. So there's a possibility that it does get delayed even further, but ideally, for those Survival of the Fittest fans out there, this one's for you guys. Hopefully, Studio Sirens can hit it home. And with that, let's talk about the next big reveal they had, and that is the Unreal Engine 5.7, basically coming here in April. Now, engine upgrade might not sound super exciting at first, but they can have a huge impact behind the scenes. Typically, these updates will bring improvements for things like better performance, rendering upgrades, and additional development tools that make future content easier to build. In other words, this update is less about new gameplay or adding new things and more about setting the foundation for everything coming next. And speaking on what's next, let's talk about the next update that, in my opinion, is probably the most interesting thing revealed here at the GDC, which is Ark World Creator. Essentially, this is a tool that is apparently supposed to give us custom world creation tools here for the console. Up until now, custom Ark maps and experiences have mostly been limited to PC modding tools, but if this system does work the way that it sounds, it could allow players to start creating and sharing their own Ark worlds directly on consoles, which could massively expand the number of custom experiences players can explore. And as awesome as this sounds and seems, it does get me a little bit nervous here to see the performance and how this will function on the console platform, as if you guys have played Ark on any console, whether it's Xbox or PlayStation, it definitely struggles to run on both of those systems, and so I'm very curious and nervous here for this to come, but I do think it is a very good change and a very good addition if they can nail this correctly, because yeah, as it states here, we will actually see a lot more custom Ark experiences for players to partake in. And now, in my opinion, the biggest reveal here for the GDC conference so far that we have known, and that is the next big update dropping in June, and that is Genesis 1 and Bob's True Tales Tides of Fortune. According to the announcement, the DLC will focus heavily on sailing ships and ocean exploration. Players will be able to navigate a vast ocean world using physical ships, introducing a much larger emphasis on the naval gameplay. This expansion will also tie into the pirate themes Bob's Tall Tales content, continuing the storyline around pirate adventures in Ark. Ooh, we got pirates! I want to know how many Atlas assets are going to be dropping in this DLC. Let me know down below in the comments. Sorry. I don't mean to trigger you guys. Don't go anywhere. I'm just joking. I know it's a super hot topic right now with utilizing assets from Atlas in Ark Survival Ascended, especially Astraeos. But anyways, with that being said, I think it does sound super cool, right? I mean, who doesn't love pirates? I really do like the creative theme here too for this DLC, for like the entire map being like 80% or something crazy of water versus actual land. So I do think this will be a vastly different DLC than what what we've seen from a lot of the other ARK DLCs out there. So I am generally excited for it. Do I think there's a possibility that we don't meet the mark or see this DLC come in June as it states on here? Absolutely. I mean, it is ARK, so it is possible that it does get a delay. But anyways, in general, let me know down below in the comments how excited you are here for a pirate-themed DLC to come to the game. And now here's a question for you. What is actually more popular than pirates in the ARK community? That's dragons, baby. That's right. We officially got some information and news around Dragontopia, also making its appearance here for 2026. The article from GDC stretches all the way out to the end of the year, with Dragontopia currently planned for December. Details on this DLC are still limited, but the name alone suggests a heavy focus on dragon-themed content, which could potentially introduce new creatures, mechanics, or even environments centered all around dragons. Hear me out. What about a collaboration between ARK and then How to Train Your Dragon, dude? I would absolutely love that. And not to mention, like, a full, like, on collaborative map between the two franchises would be huge, I think, for all the dragon riders out there and dragon lovers and just ARK players in general, because we all know that all of us love dragons on top of dinosaurs. The GDC showcase also included a few other announcements across the Snail Games portfolio, one of them being a brand new game and title called PixArk Worlds. This was a new title being developed for the Nintendo Switch 2 that will expand the ARK universe with user-generated content features. And I've seen some interesting topics and theories around PixArk's Worlds, and obviously there's no additional information at this moment from this game, but from my perspective and what I read here in the article, it seems very similar to like a Roblox or Minecraft Realms style system based in the world of PixArk. If you guys don't know, PixArk was like the, blocky style Minecraft style version of ARK that Snail Games tried to produce a long time ago and just utterly failed to maintain any sort of player base. It does still have a small, very small niche player base, but outside of that though, it hasn't really achieved any level of success or great level of success for Snail to continue pushing forward until at least now, with us having the announcement of PixArk World. So if we line up everything that we know plus what was revealed here at GDC for 2026, we have March bringing Survival of the Fittest, April bringing the Unreal Engine 5.7, May is going to be dropping ARK World Creator, June is going to be bringing in Genesis 1 and Tides of Fortune DLC for Bob's Tall Tales, and wrapping things up here with December brings in Dragontopia. And I think that's a pretty content-packed year here set up for ARK's franchise. Again, I'm very excited to sink my teeth in. The question, or the big question, always is going to be, will these things actually hit at their planned windows, or will some of these things actually slide further into 2027? Of course, unfortunately, only time will tell, but with that being said, I want to know what your guys' thoughts are. What are you guys most excited about of everything revealed here for the GDC? If you guys enjoy this content, be sure to like the video as it helps me out a ton. Drop a comment down below, let me know what your thoughts are. Subscribe here on the channel if you want more ARK news and other survival game related news. And with that being said, guys, as always, I'll see you on the next one.